gaslighting you and lying and not describing the situation accurately. How dare you do that? Because Jack Murphy is saving the world. Oh, man. And then Tim Pool is like, well, yeah, Jack, we just have to be about more than drama. Oh, yes. This is fantastic. These guys, they're just the angelic saviors. You can't possibly criticize them. Anyway, we'll get into that. But first, it's important because Jack Murphy lies about what happened on the show with what is this show called? You Are Here, with Elijah Schaefer and Total Smash Sydney Watson. But there's also some interesting things that happened on this because I don't watch a lot of this show. I wasn't too aware of it. They have a pretty big 113,000 views on a show. That's pretty good. But something that caught my attention was that they allegedly, at the end of the show, read not all of the super chats. They time it, because I think shows like this, they get like 1,000 of them. So they'll read for, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour. They're not really reading all of them, but it doesn't seem like, at least the way they talk, it seems as though they are trying to read them without censoring them. Obviously, that gets my attention. And by the way, I wish them well in that venture. Now, I don't know how accurate, this is the only super chat session of the show You Are Here that I've seen. Okay, so I don't know if it's true that they do that. I would think that if they're going to do that for the long term, I would think at some point Blaze TV is going to stop the show, and they're going to be faced with a decision whether to take Blaze TV's cock in their ass and change, or do the heroic thing and go out on your own and say, fuck you, we're going to do the show the way we want, and then continue to do the show reading whatever people post in the super chat. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to see. But anyway, Jack Murphy on Tim Pool's show pretends that, like, oh, it was like, because of course, what's the first thing these types of people do when they're called out on their bullshit? They start using human shields. And what's like the number one go-to human shield? The Holocaust and the Jews. Jack Murphy, he's like, and they were talking about the Holocaust, and you put these people in the oven. And I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this. They were talking about putting people in the ovens. Oh my God, on the You Are Here show? Well, I gotta hear this. And what's interesting about this is, as you'll see, Jack, so they were joking, they were memeing about the fact that Sydney reads, like, people try to trip her up. So they'll do this thing where they'll talk about, like, yeah, I had a problem with steam coming out of my shower, and I put these wooden doors, and she doesn't get it, right? Because she's like new to this type of stuff. So she just innocently reads them. And that's kind of funny. That's a funny thing. But anyway, the joke was, they're joking around like, you got to read them, which, by the way, I like that if they're really doing that, because I'm a fan of reading the super chats, actually reading them. So anyway, the reason I want to show this clip is the atmosphere surrounding this was very jovial, very friendly, and also Jack himself joked as well and was saying himself, you have to read them, you have to read them. So how can you go along with it and then the next night on Tim Pool, or whenever this was, maybe a couple nights later on Tim Pool, talk about how, they were just reading these super chats? And so we're going to watch, for context, how this went down. Not the whole thing, but some of it, how it went down. And then we're going to watch the acting session on the Tim Pool show between Jack Murphy and Tim Pool. So let me put the speakers on here, and then we will get into this. Oh, upstairs Nigar, totally moving furniture. He's ready.
And you have to stop pissing off Susan as well. There's that.
Yeah, we need to get that woman on talking about anal, and then we'll grow.
Yeah, exactly. Disciple,
Sumerian cultures.
Disciple says, can you please try to bring on Joey B. Tunes, aka Joey versus the World? He's our generation, needs to talk sense into selfish, narcissistic people of today. I don't know who that is, but we can certainly reach out. John Christian also says, the bold racist Jew was so funny. It made me realize they're not so bad. Something
Oh my goodness.
Something I did not see coming. So I decided to shave my.
Read it.
You gotta
have to
read
it.
them all. You gotta read them first in your head
We're not-
before you read them out loud.
This is why they like.
This is half the fun.
I don't think I don't think this one was a trap, but they do this because I don't read them ahead. I just read them. And
You should keep doing that, and you should keep reading them. Look. It's nothing personal against them. I don't mind Elijah Schaffer. Look, The Blaze is conservative ink. They seem to be a little better than normal conservative ink, but they're still conservative ink. Elijah Schaffer, I don't really have an issue with. He's had on Nick Fuentes multiple times. That's like usually something that'll get you in trouble. He'll do things like that, so I'll give him credit for that. Wanting to read all the super chats, that's a good effort. I like that. You know, he got a bunch of joggers punched him in the face when he was filming the riots, and he stayed there and kept filming, so I respect that. I don't know a lot about Sydney Watson other than she's from Australia. But, you know, okay, fine. But hopefully they keep doing that. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Blaze won't cuck. Because, you know, eventually the ADL is going to come knocking. And they're going to tell the Blaze that, you know, if you don't do what we say, we're going to do whatever we do and put you on lists and take you off. You won't be able to, you know, have bank account. You know what they do. They put you on lists and they take away your livelihood. Now, if the Blaze somehow stands up to the ADL and says, fuck you, well, there you go. That would be great. If it happens, I'll be surprised. Look, I try to be fair. I said, you know, with the judge in the Rittenhouse case, if he granted the motion of the defense for the mistrial with prejudice or whatever, that I would put the judge's face as the Twitter avatar, and I did that because it didn't really matter because it was post verdict. But anyway, I did that. I will put Glenn Beck's picture on my social media profile if somehow I'm wrong and they stand up against the ADL and they tell them to get fucked and they continue to read these super chats. That would be great. But you know, anyway, but they're all joking about it. Okay, he's like, oh, you got to read it, and but the point is, this was a friendly, kind of jovial thing. In fact, one thing that I didn't even realize is it seemed like when I watched this again, when the incident happened, it seemed like on the second fuck you from Jack that Sydney Watson thought that he was saying fuck you to the super chatter. She didn't, and so she just moved right on. Or maybe, I don't know, like I can't read her mind. Maybe she just decided to, you know, think like, all right, this guy's crazy. I'm just going to keep reading because he obviously has no self-control. I don't know. You know, it's impossible to get in people's heads.
And this is why Elijah says they deny the Holocaust. It's bad.
You should probably read them ahead.
I'm glad they
She
enjoyed
reads-
Aaron, though.
Yeah, she reads super chats that are like full on Holocaust denial super chats, and she reads it so innocently. And it's like, and it's always something that it's a horrible, and I'm listening, just laughing. Like she'll be like, "How is it then that if like
Are we gonna do the ovens and the cookies?
Yeah,
thing
no,
now?
no. She'll read
We'll
read
get
something
there.
so innocently. She'll be
We'll
like,
get there.
Now you're going to notice, Jack, and here's another thing, right? Like if you can do whatever you want on the internet, right? You can represent yourself however you want. But I don't buy it if you are if you're out here against cancel culture, you're like you're a warrior against cancel culture. And well, then you can't be pissing your pants when people are joking about the Holocaust. Okay, so you should probably market yourself differently because that's not consistent. That's not congruent with the way that you're pretending that, oh, I'm fighting against the left. Well, if you're pissing your pants when people are super chatting about the Holocaust, you're not really what you represent. Now, there's multiple areas where Jack Murphy is doing this. The other area is pretending to be what does he call it, an apex alpha? Apex alpha, is that the term he uses? Yes, he's an apex alpha who gets so visibly and emotionally upset at a woman asking a simple question, and also, you know, has his girlfriend fuck other men. Oh, apex alpha, absolutely. He's teaching people about masculinity. Oh, it's just amazing.
There.
but they're so good in Getter. They'll be like, I love carpentry and building things. And I built a wood door for my shower, but the steam still got out while I was showering. How could wood keep steam in the shower and keep the gases in? And she'll read it and she'll be like, I don't know. I maybe like she'll like respond. Maybe get like a different type of a glass door. And
By the way, that's hilarious. That's a very good, if that's the kind of MO of the show, that the girl is kind of innocent and you can get things past her, that's funny. I think that's funny. And I think that her handling the super chats like that, I think that's fine. I think that's hilarious.
She just like moves on, and I'm just like,
Yeah, she doesn't.
And he's laughing. I think that's great. So she's reading them. Everyone's having a laugh because you should be allowed to fucking joke. But the thing is, like I said, they're probably gonna figure out a way to get to these people, and hopefully that they don't cuck. And most of the time, people cuck, but at least they're trying. I've not seen shows like this, kind of venture into this area where you're like, yeah, we're gonna read all the super chats. Really? Are you? Okay. All right. We'll see.
To know she's done it until she hears me and Elijah laughing.
I'm like, she just like she does this, and I'm like,
I am now officially concerned for my career.
See, there you go. So, big bad Jack Murphy, warrior against cancel culture. Now you're nervous. Oh, you're nervous. And I wonder, is this part of the reason? Because you know what? His reaction is so crazy to her that I wonder, did he think that maybe he might get in trouble for this? So he, by like going off on Sydney, he can kind of argue, well, I was against this and I said fuck you to her. What else do you want me to do? And apparently he walked off the set at the end without saying goodbye or having pleasantries. That's at least what I saw in the write-up from the channel after the incident happened.
she reads this stuff, and she doesn't know what she's reading, and she's
Dude,
trying to be
you
nice.
could have warned me.
Well,
Dude, you could have warned me, he said. Oh, yeah.
where would the fun
Free speech warrior Jack Murphy. Oh, yes.
that be?
She was trying. No, she's just being
We're
nice.
trying to keep it authentic.
And now it's become a thing where it's like dangerous because now people get in the chat and like regularly send these things, and they're getting more intricate, and so it's getting harder for her to hone in.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And she reads them, and sometimes I'm even just like, I'm just not even gonna laugh. We're just gonna pretend like she didn't say that.
That's what $50 will get you these days.
Yeah, I was
The
like-
problem is I don't live on these parts of the internet, so when I am
That's what makes it funny.
reading these things, I have like if I can hear either of them giggling, I'm like, oh, I fucked up, and because I don't know, and I can sidestep your little holes you dig me. These ones are getting more challenging. He's right. I have a
Good. Keep doing it. That's fun. That's a fun time. That is a fun time.
harder time.
Don't
I
stop.
don't know if that was one. It might have
Don't
been.
stop.
Yeah. No, that's why it's not bad. You can't get canceled because she's doing it on accident. It's like you only can get canceled if like you're intentionally trying to like make light of that situation.
No. They'll cancel you for whatever reason they want to, and they will eventually come for you. And I hope that you tell them to fuck off. I hope that both of them tell them to fuck off. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But she does it on accident.
They don't care. They do not care. If the Holocaust and Israeli narrative is not fully down your throat with full swallowing and eye contact, they're going to cancel you. So you're going to have to, at some point, they're going to come knocking and you have to tell them to fuck off. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So it's okay.
I also liked the funny Jew. I liked him as well. I thought
There was a funny Jew?
he was great.
That was-
You had a
that was
funny
Aaron.
Jew on?
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh, wow.
he was fantastic.
Aaron Berg.
He was,
Yeah,
he was-
Elijah threw him shekels.
Oh, Lord.
They were Hanukkah coins.
Yes.
Anamorphosis.
I'm assuming.
Anamorphosis. Says
There's nothing
Elijah.
off limits on the show, to be completely honest.
Oh, it's awesome, dude.
Now, notice that. Notice what Jack Murphy said. That's awesome, dude. So that means you're in agreement. So you're pretending that you're in agreement. You're not in agreement because, you went on the Tim Pool show and you acted like they were the problem. But he's going along now. Oh, this is awesome. Okay.
I was like,
awesome.
I want to bring late
No,
night back
you
to the
look-
right.
Awesome-ish.
You look really worried. You look
Dude,
concerned.
I'm yeah, No, it's all good. I'm just actually what I'm amazed by is the fact that you got Blaze supporting this. That's the only part that amazes me. That the humor, I get all the jokes. But like if you guys as the audience, if you could see what you walk in here, it's like Universal Studios, there's like warehouses everywhere. There's live in studios, Steve studios over here, live audiences. This is a very first class professional operation going on. And then you guys are saying these things. That's the only disconnect. That's the only
I've
disconnect.
never
for me.
known how. Like people always like, someone's like, I don't understand, Blaze. Why do they hire you? And I'm like, it's literally the secret sauce. I'll tell everyone the secret sauce is, I'm very good friends with our CEO, and that's why.
There you go. Boom.
The end.
The end.
That's it.
Well, it's working.
We've
Well-
already been told that this show's been hard to get advertisers on.
Yes. That's why.
By the way, I'll say their show, at least from what I've seen, and I haven't seen a ton of it, but at least with this episode, these super chats are very mild. This is very mild. But yeah, no, there is a valid point here that like eventually something has to give, because they don't allow this kind of shit in conservative ink if they're going to keep doing it, even mildly. So we'll see what happens.
Get out of town.
That is why the super chats mean a lot to us.
They're
and
the
people
advertisers.
supporting us.
Thank you.
Because you guys are the advertisers. That's why we try to get through all of these and read all your
All right, I
comments,
got a few
even
more.
if you're trapping me. No, I want to read this one first, because I started it. I'm going to finish what I started. Anamorphosis says Elijah, and
I respect that. So she had an offensive super chat, and she didn't do it 100%, and now she's redoing it. That's fantastic. Make sure the offensive joke is told correctly. I like that. I like that a lot.
I apologize for this in advance, Jack. Ask Murphy about the article he wrote about.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a sec. Okay, so I'm sorry, this wasn't the Holocaust joke. So this is what she said right before. So I believe that, is this the second time? So the cuck, let me see which clip this is. Hold on.
And I apologize for this in advance, Jack. Ask Murphy.
Oh, yeah, because she said that she's following up. So she previously brought this up to Jack Murphy. This is where he really curses her out.
About the article he wrote about literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was joking. True alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow, you went there with that. I have absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perception is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong.
That's not true.
And it has nothing to do with people think what they're thinking it to be today.
Are we talking about sex right now?
Do you know what cuckolding is?
I totally thought
It's
you were
where
reading.
you get a chicken and you hold it and you
No,
love it.
I just blanked
and
out
then
for a
you-
second.
You make more chickens.
I just blanked out for a second.
I support you having chickens.
We
I
don't
have
kink
chickens.
shame.
I like chickens.
If you haven't,
Now, I will say, this is, I think, typical on the internet. If this is the type of environment, everyone's making fun of everybody. So right now it was Jack's turn to get made fun of. And also, so far, he seems to be handling it well. I think this is the first time it's brought up. He really freaks out the second time. But you can't be in a situation like this where everyone's joking and having a good time, and then it's your turn to be joked about. You can't freak out. That's really unacceptable. Now, it doesn't seem like he freaks out on this part, but I think everyone's seen the clip where he does freak out.
a hen house, that's great. That's you should have your own eggs. Great.
We don't
supply,
kink shame.
Great for protein.
You are here does not kink shame. I want to bring that out that we do not kink shame. If you don't want to have, if you hate women, don't want to have any sex at all, that's your lifestyle. Or if you're a nude model, that's your lifestyle.
You can in fact be you can be both at the same time.
Or if you want to sleep with trans Elijah, Ellie Schaefer.
Literally,
If you want to breed
if
him,
you want to have
that's
sex with
okay.
my ankles, maybe.
See, now they're making fun of Elijah. No problem. Everyone's getting made fun of. She got made fun of before. He's getting made fun of. Jack got made fun of. Okay, normal people, when shit like this happens, they play it off and laugh. But as you're going to see, Jack does not. He can't do that.
Kez might allow it.
Brian Schultz says, "Merry Christmas and happy first day of Noodlemas."
I told you she goes there. She just like reads the chats and is just like, hey, so there's a picture. Like she just like read this. Like, is it true, Sydney, that the size of your boobs? She'll just read it like genuinely. Like, okay, and it's like you have nice knockers.
That's fantastic.
Thank
No,
you.
See, that's good. She plays it off good. That's all. That's good.
I just mean like you read these like they're like someone's just telling you like, oh, I love your show, but it's like always these just like super chats that it cracks me up. And you read them in the same voice like, Silas King from here says, Sydney, I'd love to put my feet between your meat sacks. And you're like, thank you. And you move on. And I'm
That's
just
great.
like, okay, we read that out loud. That
That's
is on the
fantastic.
internet for good. That's why this show has like 7 out of context accounts. Do you know about this?
No.
This show.
I'm about to find out, I'm sure.
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
yes.
You'll probably end up being in it because they take the show and they just take everything out of context. There's out of context Brandon, out of context Sydney, out of context Schaefer, out of context you are here, out of
Out of context videos are hilarious. The ones that someone did on Styx are fucking hilarious.
context so many things. And there's just
And you know what Styx did in response? He wrote LOL. He laughed along because Styx understands how to navigate the internet. But Jack Murphy apparently doesn't.
it is really scary what we say on the show. It's like, like I'll like see that and it's like there was even this
You're not making him feel better. Look
no,
at
no,
his
no.
face.
There was this quote. I don't remember saying this. It was just like this. It came up, and I was laughing at my own thing because I was like, yeah, I don't know what the Congolese Africans are doing using plastic bags as condoms. It's just kind of gross, and also premarital sex is disgusting. And I don't know. I like whispered that in the mic right after, and I was like, when did I do that? I don't remember what date this happened.
My favorite one was when Elijah's like, I don't hate retarded people.
That's the whole clip.
That's awesome.
I just wanted some quotes come on. Like, did I say that on the internet? Oops.
Okay, well, Brian Schultz wants to wish us a Merry Christmas and a
See?
Happy Noodlemas for the entire cast and crew, and he will miss us over the holidays and can't wait till you're back. Well, we too will miss you, Brian. Good Skateboard Co. says, Merry Christmas, guys. Next couple of weeks going to be boring. Don't drink too much eggnog. We certainly won't. Same to you. Not Chili Boo Boo says, hope you all have a great Christmas. Also, do you know Ice Bank myself? Oh, I hate
You got it. There you go.
I hate you guys so much.
Do you see how mild that is, though? This is, and by the way, if that's your audience and that's your thing, good. It doesn't have to be what we do here, but the fact that they're trying to read them all, that's great. I support that. I just, I hope they're consistent with it and they stick with it long term.
Right. Jesus Christ. A sour cream citizen says, can't watch tonight, but just thought I would share that I hope you all are utterly wrong about the vax. My older bro just vaxxed his 7-year-old. Oh, that's really sad.
That's sad. I got one that said, Edward just said, Tyler from Zeducation. And that's cool. We also have Silas King says, what are your opinions on mass formation and the idea we are in one now? Love all of you guys. That's a really long one. I can't answer that now. Do you have an opinion on that?
I think it's pretty clear that people are acting in ways that are not helpful to their own self-interest, and you have difficulty explaining why people do things that are harmful to them. Having an explanation of mass hypnosis is a good and convenient sort of answer for us who are trying to apply a rational filter to irrational behavior, but is something like that possible? I don't know. Adam Curry brought that up to me when he was on my show recently, you know, the original MTV VJ Headbangers Ball from back in the day. He's got a great podcast now called No Agenda, and he brought that up to me, the mass hypnosis, and I haven't dug into it, but it makes sense. Makes sense.
I love it. Young Paige Chang says, Elijah's named after the prophet. I won't misspell. It's true. Sagittarius Enton said, more like Morpheus, Brandon. Small Rabid Monkey said, read the book Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper in the 17th chapter, but not anymore.
Enoch says, their show is the closest thing to the hard bastard on mainstream channels like The Blaze. No joke, they say wild shit. Rittenhouse's best interview was on this show. Look, if people are attempting to, in the conservative ink space, have an uncensored show, more power to them. Again, I'm skeptical long-term that it'll hold, but I really think that if they build enough of an audience here, and it seems that they have, that if the Blaze tells them to stop, they could tell them to fuck off and do it on their own and be successful. So I wish them the best. I hope they do that. I hope they don't sell out and they fucking, I mean, because you can, it looks like they have a large enough audience that if that day were to come and they said, well, we're going to just go independent, I think they'd probably be successful. So I hope they do that.
Also, commercials are not subtle at all anymore. Huh? Stargush says, Dem strategy, reverse psychology, and on minorities, that the threat is white supremacy. Minorities attack whites, invoke white rage, checkmate for the new KKK. Unvaxxed are discriminated already, and speech is segregated by race. That is true. Brett Ain't Dead said, unfortunately, the proliferation of technology leads to authoritarian collectivism.
I think the freak out is about to come up here.
Looks gay. Merry Christmas, Sid and Jack and Elijah.
Mr. Dick and Bowles says, hey, Jack.
See, that's what she does. She does this.
That's great.
Like she reads.
That's a fantastic style. She sounds like I mean, she doesn't. It's not a British accent, but to an American like me, her accent is like not all Australian accents, but hers. It sounds like proper. She seems to me like to be like her accent is proper. So to hear a person with that kind of accent say something like that is fucking hilarious. That's a great a great look. That's a good idea. If I had an accent like that, I would do the same thing, but I don't have an accent like that. I compared to these people with the proper accents, I probably sound like a trash bag, but that's okay. That's it's not a problem.
Like that's normal. Like it's not even. She's not even saying, I'm not gonna skip the name. She just goes, Mr. Dukenball said.
Could you please clear up the cuck article
Here it is.
you wrote?
Here it is.
I am not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now. Why are you doing this to me?
Why are you doing this to me, bro? She's not doing anything to you. Okay, you're suggesting that she censor the super chats on your behalf. How dare you ask her to do that? Why? What? That's fucking crazy that you would ask her to do that. She's not doing anything to you. She didn't write that article. You did. You wrote the article. And you seem to not understand how to handle this stuff. You either have to laugh it off or fully embrace it. Can't do this.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah. Fuck you.
So even after she apologizes, he's like, "Fuck you." Whoa, what a man! That is apex alpha.
Heartfelt.
Elizabeth Harrison says, gonna miss the show, but have a good break.
So I don't know if she, because they said in the comments that like she thought that, I think the second "fuck you" she thought was, and Elijah thought was to the super chatter, which that would make sense as a response, saying "fuck you" to the super chatter. I mean, I don't think that's the appropriate one, but logically speaking, it would make more sense that he said "fuck you" to the super chatter instead of her. But he did say "fuck you" to her clearly on the first time, and that's why she asked him, and then he confirmed that he was saying "fuck you" to her. So either what they wrote in the comments was bullshit, or she just was, I guess she just decided, because the best thing I guess to do there is just move on. This guy's being a fucking nut, and he's totally bringing down the vibe in the room, so just move on to the next one. Yeah, that makes sense.
IHTAC, what's that? What?
Nothing. I'm just I literally was just coughing. It's just an inconvenient cough.
Norfolk says, Sydney, you're looking uniquely great tonight. Thank you very much. Try to think says, Elijah, just buy a damn house already and quit paying other people's rent. Also, come buy me a drink. I'm in San Antonio for the weekend. Sid, some women should be seen and not heard. Your mother was a hamster says, spam.
So then they just continue to read the rest of the super chats, and but anyway, the reason I played that is because a couple nights later, Jack Murphy, or maybe the next night, he went on the Tim Pool show, and I want to compare how he described what happened, which he seemed to be going along with it up until the point where he goes off on her. He's like, "That's awesome," and like Elijah said, I want to bring late night TV to the right wing. I hope that's good. I hope you do it. It's probably not going to work, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to work for the conservative ink. You can be successful doing it on your own. You don't need conservative ink. Hopefully he realizes that. I don't know. He seems like he has a decent head on his shoulder. I don't know. Anyway, so now I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this was not brought up at all so far during the show. And by the way, it could have been so much easier if the first thing when they introduced Jack, if he took 35 seconds to just say that, I just want to, reinforce what I said on Twitter. I apologize to Sydney. And then, I don't know what you're going to come up with. It's not my problem that you have to clean this mess up. But, say something that kind of, de-escalates the situation. But of course they don't do that. They wait for this moment. And then they are going to begin, I don't know what to call this tactic, but it is a tactic. It's a tactic, and I'll explain everything as far as like what the vibe, but just pay attention to their vibe, and then pay attention to how their voices change, and they almost come to a whisper, because they're going to start talking about saving the world.
Because it's Christmas vacation.
Yes. Yeah, but I do want to say, so the super chats have been absolutely inundated with people who don't like you.
Okay, so already Tim Pool is using the tactic of trying to act like the problem here is people just don't like good old Jack. How could you not like Jack? He's such a fighter for all of us. He's He's saving the world. How could you? So it's just inundated with people who don't like Jack. It couldn't be inundated with viewers of the Tim Pool show that take issue with the way Jack handled this. No, it's just people that hate Jack. Oh, poor Jack.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And a lot of people are saying things like, you shouldn't have yelled at Sydney and all that stuff. And so we'll talk about that right now. But I do want to say one thing too, because a lot of people who are saying things like, I can't believe I believed in Jack or whatever, and Jack's a fraud. And I'm just like, guys,
guys, come on, guys.
Believed in Jack or whatever, and Jack's a fraud. And I'm just like, guys, we're going to address all those issues. But if your complaint is about an article that Jack wrote 7 years ago, and you're now saying that you no longer like him because of something he did in the past.
Again, I'm not aware of that argument being made. I believe the main argument is that he, first of all, lies about how the article was supposed to be viewed. He lies about. So you have the super chat read from Sydney, and he freaks out on her, and then I believe in the Twitter apology, I'm going to bring it up, that he does this thing where he tries to act like both people were guilty. Let me grab. I'm going to let him play this. I'm going to grab the apology, but a big part of the criticism here is that the apology was a gaslight. Okay, so I haven't seen people. I mean, granted, there you could make the argument that, based on the article, this guy should not be teaching about masculinity. Okay, that's reasonable, but I think most people are upset with the way he wrote about what happened on Twitter and how it was a gaslight.
I don't care if it's a leftist who does it. I don't care if it's a right winger who does it. If someone did something in the past and they're like, yeah, I don't think those things anymore, or I don't like that I did that, I'm like, okay, forgiveness granted. Thank you for joining us in the fight for freedom.
Yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't a real apology. Tim, what if the apology is not an apology and it's a gaslight? What about that?
Yes.
If we're going to excise our own allies because of things they did in the past, well, you might as well be,
But that's not what they're doing, Tim. This is not about what he did in the past. It's about that he's a fraud, that he... also, there's a whole thing about, and I'm not really going to get that much into it, but there's some sort of like multi-level marketing bullshit as well attached to this. The bottom line is people are realizing that Jack Murphy is not what he says he is.
in cancel culture mode or whatever. Not that.
So now the critics are being likened to the left, and now you're cancelers. You're like cancel culture.
I mean, some people should deserve to be canceled, and some people should have to answer for what they did and all that stuff. But I mean, do you want to outright mention the "you are here" thing or whatever?
Oh well,
before
just on that one point, like why was it so jarring for people to read that article about me? Because I don't ever talk about it. Because I don't ever push those ideas.
Okay, so that's not true. As far as I understood it, the Kill Stream was covering this last night. I was watching some of that, and I believe up till 6 months ago. 6 months ago, Jack Murphy was publicly defending the article. So that would be a lie, Jack. That would be a lie.
Because it's not a part of my life, right? It was something that I wrote when I had like 100 Twitter followers, and I was using a fake name. Jack Murphy is not my real name, everybody. Spoiler alert.
But you're still using that name.
My real name is John Murphy Goldman. My grandfather's name was John Murphy. Everybody called him Jack. So I picked Jack Murphy as a pseudonym. And I wrote an article about like one element of my sex life all those years ago.
There were multiple. It was called Just the Tip. It was a column. There's multiple articles there, all sorts of articles.
That was meant to be seen by basically nobody. And I deleted it like a few months later. And now for years, people have been digging through my internet trash to like bring it up. And
isn't it on your own site? I think it's on his own site. What do you mean digging through your internet trash? You put your internet trash on your own website?
To wave it in my face. And the only reason people
well, dude, if you write something embarrassing, that is what the internet does. They wave it in your face, and then we see your character, and it's not good. It's not good.
are waving at my face is because we're having a good impact on society. We're like doing good. We're spreading good out there. And if
see now, yes, you're don't you understand? Filthy internet. You're working against the good that Jack is doing. Jack is saving the world. He's doing good.
It felt jarring to you to read this one thing.
It's not one thing. It's multiple things.
Well, yeah, that's because I don't talk about it, and it's not something I'm pushing. And
again, 6 months ago.
It's not something I advocate. After I got divorced, dude, we just had we had fun, man. We did a lot of kinky and crazy things, and I don't write about it, and I don't talk about it anymore.
Joey Salads.
I'm having trouble finding this. Apology on his account. I don't know.
Hired black men to vandalize a car with Trump stickers in it.
So what?
He staged the whole thing.
So the issue with Joey Salads, I remember that. I didn't really like if was Joey Salads trying to pass it off as an organic event. So that would be a valid criticism of Joey Salads if he was pretending or trying to portray this as an organic event, but it turned out it was set up. I don't know if that's what he did, but that would be a valid line of criticism. What a non-valid line of criticism is, oh, how dare you play a practical joke on black people? Why can't you do that? What's the difference? Would you have had an issue with it if he had it reversed? So what? You should be able to play a joke on anybody. Now, like I said, if he was portraying to the public that, oh, look what happened organically, well, then that was bullshit, and then you certainly call him out for the bullshit there.
And I forgave him and had him on the show several times.
Yeah, well, I didn't do anything that stupid. I was just having,
Okay, what you are doing is way worse.
just having fun
That's my
with a
point.
girl that I just started dating. We were just going out and having a good time, and I wrote about it anonymously. Then I deleted it, and now I have gone through a whole many years of growth and transformation and reading and studying, and everything
Well-
that I have said before up to this point.
Okay, I found it. Here it is. I overreacted last night on air with Elijah Schaefer and Sydney Watson. I reached out to Sydney this morning and apologized. She and I just spoke, and we're all good. We were fans of each other before, and we're still fans today. The rest of the show was lit too. After the show, Elijah Schaefer and I went out for dinner. We talked for a couple hours. There's no drama between me, Elijah, and Sydney. Now, if you would have left it there, I don't know if this would have gotten as much attention. Right now, so far with what I read, no gaslighting, and so far so good. Okay, that's fine. But then you have the final sentence. It's just a gaggle of internet losers who are upset. See, that's where you made a mistake. You made a mistake. No, these people have a valid criticism. So now you're using tactics. You almost had it, dude. You almost had it. You could have just left that last sentence out, gone on Tim Pool, seriously, all you needed to do to stop maybe 60% of all this. By the way, there still would have been people that were going to make fun of you, but that's how it goes. But it eventually will die out. Okay? The last thing you want to do is pour gasoline on it and gaslight people. So you could have literally read this tweet in the first 30 seconds of Tim Pool's show and then never talked about it again, and it eventually would have gone away. Okay? Now, there's going to be plenty of people that are like, fuck that guy, and they're not going to read your site anymore. They're not going to watch your shit. That's just part of the deal. But it wouldn't have turned into this. So no, you got to go, oh, it's just a bunch of internet losers. Okay, well, that was a mistake.
Is 100% accurate. What?
But people
Don't
are
interrupt me.
Well, people are mad at you for yelling it.
Oh, they're like, oh, we can talk about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think
So I'm glad Tim at least brought that part up, that the issue that, so Jack's trying to act like people are just triggered by an article. And a key point of it was the fact that he yelled at Sydney Watson totally inappropriately. And so at least Tim brought that part up, but it doesn't, this isn't a win for Tim.
they're using, a lot of people don't like the article. A lot of people are using that because they're mad at you, but I think the anger comes from you yelling at Sydney.
That's
So
true.
here-
So when he did that, I'm like, okay, good, Tim Pool, good. Don't let him get away with it. Bring up Sydney Watson.
Here's what happened with Sydney. So I'm sitting on the show and we're talking, and they're joking about reading super chats where people are building like gas chambers, and she's reading out loud like, how did I build this gas chamber that didn't kill all the Jews that I was supposed to kill? Right? It's like insane.
Okay, so they didn't read it like that. I think, it's a slightly accurate depiction of what she was reading. I didn't hear anything like that from her. I think he's talking about the example that Elijah told, but he's telling it in a way worse way. Like, they were talking about killing Jews. Oh man.
The super chats that she reads. And so I'm telling her this whole time, I'm like, hey, you might want to read all the super chats before you read them out loud.
Right. You might want to censor super chats on my behalf.
Right? A little bit of a warning.
Yeah, a little bit of a warning to censor your super chats and change your show's format on my behalf.
And then she asked me the question about the article, and I answered it politely. I deflected. I was like, that's not me. It's 180 degrees from whatever that article says. And I'd really rather not talk about it anymore.
Did he say that part, that I'd rather not talk about it anymore? I don't recall that. Did he say I would rather not talk about it anymore? I'm not sure. Did he say that? Does anyone remember?
And then a couple minutes later, she literally asked me the same question all over again. And I cursed at her. I shouldn't have cursed at her. And I apologized, Sydney. I apologized to her that day and that night and the next day. And she accepted my apology. So I don't know why everybody's still butthurt. But
Again, because you acted like a bitch, okay? And it's not butthurt. It is people making fun of you for being a ridiculous person. That article was ridiculous. I was laughing my ass off, okay? And also people that yell at women for no reason are very soft. I don't like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's totally insane. Your behavior was insane. That's it. It was embarrassing. You had an embarrassing moment on the internet, and the internet is laughing at you. It could happen to anybody. You never know. It could happen to anybody. But you're just not handling it well.
I shouldn't have cursed at her. I should have just used amused mastery and just like laughed at her and dismissed her.
But if you're the apex alpha, why didn't you use what did he call it? Amused mastery? Is that what that's called? Okay. Well, if you were an apex alpha, you would have laughed it off. You would not have, would not have happened if you are what you say you are. And look, if you're not pretending to be a master of masculinity, a teacher, that's part of the problem here. The guy claiming to be a teacher of masculinity in the past has advocated for ridiculous bullshit. Like, look, if you're like, hey, I'm a kinky guy and I like to have orgies and fuck all of you, okay, that's fine. But if you're like, oh, we have to win this culture war against the left and we really need men and masculine men, and then people find out that you behave this way, obviously they're going to have a problem. And also, if you're advocating, at least you're saying you're not advocating anymore, but at least up to 6 months ago you were defending the article. So you are advocating for young men to let other men fuck their girlfriends. That's ridiculous. From a teacher of masculinity, okay? From a teacher of, like, you know, orgies, oh, that would make sense. You like orgies, you're a swinger. Like, if you were like, hey, I'm a teacher of swinging, well, that would be congruent. But people are calling out the bullshit because that doesn't really jive, when, especially if you're pretending to not be on the side of the left. So, yeah, people have a valid criticism.
But I didn't, because I had set a boundary and she crossed it.
Okay, bull fucking shit. You didn't set a boundary. I didn't see where you said, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
And that's part of being a man too, is saying, here's my boundary.
But bitch, you didn't set a fucking boundary.
Please don't cross it.
You didn't do that.
And then she crossed it.
Bullshit.
And I told her that I didn't like it. Did I use the right words? No. Should I have cursed at her? No. And did I apologize to her for that? Yes.
You should have apologized immediately.
Did she apologize to me for putting me in a bad spot? Yes.
She didn't put you in a bad spot. It's not her job to make sure that you're not put in a bad spot by your own words. That's not her job.
Did Elijah? Yes. Did Elijah and I go out for dinner and drinks afterwards? Yes. Has Sydney and I talked afterwards? Yes. So I don't understand why everybody's so white knighting, simping for her.
They're not doing that. They are pissed off that you're gaslighting them. People don't like to be gaslit. It pisses them off.
She can stand up for herself. It's resolved. And in my mind, it's done. And to me, this is such a nothing burger in my life.
That's why you're talking about it all day on Twitter. There's plenty of posts related to this on Twitter.
I am so focused on so many other bigger, more important things that people chipping and chirping away at me at this are just so annoying.
Well, so that doesn't make any sense though. If this is beneath you and you're working on other things, you would be unbothered. Again, if you were the apex alpha.
Block people, it's because you're annoying, dude. It's because you have.
That's very manly behavior. Blocking people, very manly.
We have to be more than drama.
Yes. Now let's really get let's bring our, I don't know what you would call this tone. This is the damage control tone. This is one of my friends / associates has gotten himself in a jam. So we're going to use a tactic where we're going to pretend all the critics are just people that don't want to change the world. So we really got to get our voice tone down. We have to be more than drama. Come on, guys. We have to be more than drama. It's drama to criticize someone that I like who lied on the internet. That's drama.
We have to be more than drama.
Right.
There are a lot of drama channels. I don't engage with them.
Oh.
I'm aware, and I mentioned this last week. The one way to really piss me off is to send me a video about people saying things about me.
Yeah.
So how, bro, first of all, you are rich enough to do whatever you want and you can just ignore people. The problem is you don't ignore them. The metric for whether or not you care is if you talk about it. That's it. That's the metric. Tim talks about his critics all the time, all the time. And you're admitting that it makes you angry when people you know point out that people are talking about you. If you truly were unbothered by it, you would go, yeah, they people talk, who cares? Hey, what else is going on? That's what a person who is congruent would do. But a person who's constantly talking about the people that criticize you, you can't argue you don't care. That's not reasonable.
Because I'm like, dude, I don't care about me. Like,
Oh, guys, I don't care about me. Oh, that is, oh yeah, this is not a tactic at all. This is a little nauseating, a little nauseating. Okay, all right, yeah. Guys, I don't care about me. Oh, man. Tim and Jack saving the world. Oh, I don't think the save the world comment has even happened yet.
what I mean by that is like, I don't care if, so I saw the Young Turks thing where Jenk was like, he's literally looking into the camera saying over and over again, I'm laughing at you, Tim Pool. I'm like, okay, dude, like, whatever, man. I did a video.
So again, now, I'll talk about it briefly. So again, by the way, I have no problem with Tim Pool making a video response to Cenk Uygur. That's fine. Just don't say, just stop saying that you don't care, because you obviously do. Okay? I could never, like, it's fucking preposterous if I argue, oh, I don't care about the Young Turks. That's not true. Now, I don't care about them. Like, when I say I care about the Young Turks, I'm not talking about the faggy way of caring. I'm talking about, I want to see what happens to them. I'm very interested to watch the demise of the outlet. So I do care about the Young Turks, just like I said, not in the faggy way, okay? So I had no problem with Tim Pool making a video response to Cenk Uygur, but stop pretending that you don't care. That's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, so real briefly, I didn't really see anything in that video. So what happened is he had his sister on, and they talked about their childhood. Cenk Uygur, see, the problem with this whole thing was this part of the source is from Cenk Uygur, and he always lies. And so Cenk lied and claimed that Tim said that children were being raped in the basement. That's not true as far as I can tell. What Tim was talking about was when there were, basically, this is what I think the story is, as I understand it. Tim's parents worked their asses off, and they lived in a bad neighborhood. And gangbangers would, like, come into their house and hang out and do things like, they would, like, fuck on Tim's bed. Tim was, like, 10. They would fuck on his bed. And I'm sorry, like, all of that seems pretty congruent, like, I didn't really find it. That's not outrageous to me. That's, look, I grew up in a suburb, so I didn't grow up around people like this. But I've talked about previously this crack dealer that went to school in the suburbs that we hung out with. And so based on the stories that he would tell, not stuff that I saw myself, but based on stories that he would tell about the behavior of people in some of the neighborhoods, that's not really shocking to me. That sounds about right. So I don't really find. And the way the conversation was between the two of them, it seemed organic. I didn't really, and the thing is, there's no way to really tell for sure whether or not these things are true. Seems true. It seems true. It seems believable that you grew up in a bad neighborhood and the people around you acted like animals. That sounds about right. He was in a zoo and he was surrounded by the animals. That's the story. I find that believable. I don't know. But so if you want to argue that, maybe he talks about it too much. I don't know. I mean, I talk about the JW stuff a lot. I think people talk about things. But I didn't really, out of all of the things, I didn't really find too much issue with that. I think TYT's being ridiculous. What's interesting, though, is he invited Cenk and Anna on the show. Now, remember, Cenk and Anna, one of their big criticisms, oh, these people, they won't have us on their show. Well, Tim Pool just invited the two of you. Now, I don't expect the Young Turks to go on. Maybe they will. I will say this, though. There is a good chance that if TYT goes on to the Tim Pool show, that Tim Pool's going to disappoint because he's going to be too nice to them. Because this is one of his, I think, areas where you could criticize him. He's way too nice to his enemies. He's way too nice to the left. He cares way too much what they think. And so it's possible that what will happen if TYT goes on is, they'll be nice to his face because they're cowards. They're not going to say anything to his face, just like Anna with Ben Shapiro. But then after the show's over, they're going to do what they did with R.A. the Rugged Man, and they're going to talk behind his back and call him a racist. And then, you know, Tim will basically be the butt of their jokes. I could be wrong about that. Maybe Tim will be formidable, and that would be great. But I don't know. I get the impression, because Cenk keeps talking about how it's pointless to talk about or to talk to people that have lost their minds. Cenk will probably not go on, but, you know, maybe.
Addressing the R.A. the Rugged Man thing got 500,000 views. The Young Turks did their video, got 50,000 views. I'm not saying that to bring that up to be like, haha, I got more views than you. I'm saying
You should laugh at them. Absolutely. You did get more views than them. They suck. I mean, you're sucking a little now, but you know, you don't suck as much as TYT.
when you focus on the work, when you focus on the ideas, when you are talking about what makes the world a better place and what we need to work on.
Yes, we're making the world a better place.
People are interested.
Yeah.
People are interested in, like, what can I do to better my life?
Yeah, and that's.
But Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian just insulting me doesn't improve anyone's life in any way, and doesn't provide them with tools to make for a better world.
No, and if
Yes, we're making for a better world.
you're out there and you're listening to rage merchants and all they're doing is stirring up drama, and you're
All they're doing is stirring up drama by criticizing Jack Murphy being dishonest. It's just, you know, not that Tim Pool has grown a large platform criticizing the corporate media, rightfully, for being dishonest. But when it's time to criticize one of the people he surrounds himself with, well, it's a little bit of a different story. I guess you get a pass. You get a pass to fucking bullshit people. That's not good. That's not a good sign. Not surprised, because people generally treat their friends and associates with different, you know, or with kid gloves. It's, you know, it happens a lot, but it's still not good.
just getting angry enough that you seek out my email address and my Instagram and my YouTube.
Oh man, people, Jack, oh my God. You mean to tell me, while you're saving the world, that people are looking for your publicly available social media? Wow, that is, man, that's a Holocaust, Jack. That is, I can't imagine what that would be like. Boy.
And my Twitter and my personal phone number and my girlfriend, who's soon to be my wife's, and you blowing us up with all this nastiness, like, dude, you're being misled, right? The idea and everything that we're working on here is to help men, is to help their families.
Yeah, but by being dishonest, that doesn't help men, and encouraging them to let other guys fuck their girlfriends, that does not help men. That does not help men.
Is to help their community and their nation. On the way up here today, just let me finish.
Here it is.
On the way up here today, I had a phone call with one of the LO guys, and we're talking about this business that they started that's literally going to change the world.
We are going to change the world. Again, I had mentioned I was watching the Kill Stream last night cover this, and they were reading from this site, I believe. What is it called? It's just, I don't know, some fucking bullshit. Round Table of the Homosexuals. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, on the Kill Stream, they were reading from this website. I'll call the website that Jack runs the Round Table of Homosexuals, but that's actually not what it's called. But I'll call it, just for the sake of time. Okay. Anyway, so they're reading parts of the site. It's like a multi-level marketing thing. And it's a bunch of bullshit, and it's, you know, it is what it is. But like the idea that it's going to change the world, the luminal order. Thank you, Chad. It's not called the Round Table of Homosexuals. It's called the luminal order. Thank you. And so that's so there we go. Jack Murphy changing the world. We are changing the world. It's okay for me to be dishonest and gaslight you, because I'm changing the world.
We're talking about this business that they started that's literally going to change the world. It's going to change the world. It is going to transform the world, and this is what we're working on. So I'm driving up here and I'm talking to this guy about literally changing the world, and now we're talking about this thing that literally has no relevance in my life whatsoever at all today.
Well, but you're talking about it on Twitter,
and you know, it's just kind of annoying, but like, I'm just so over it and not interested in talking about it, which is why I was like, please, let's just not talk about it anymore. And she wanted to, so hey.
But I'll tell you this.
Again, you didn't, that's, again, a misrepresentation of what happened. That's why we watched it. You didn't tell her, you didn't set a boundary with her. Okay, you said that people are viewing it in a way that's a completely 180 degrees from what it is. You did not say I'd rather not talk about it. Unless, did I miss it where he said that? If you have that timestamp, I'll go back to it. Let me know. But I don't believe I heard him say that.
These super chats are funny, but I think you even rolled with the jokes about calling your boy Matt and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you get it.
It's
Sometimes you just gotta,
It's like whatever, dude. I have a kinky past. Really, I'm really terribly sorry about it. And then and then my girl and I, we got serious, and now we settled down, and now we're getting married, and we're gonna have a nice traditional life with the kids and the family and the whole thing. Like, oof, kill me. Like, come on, guys, get a grip.
Let's read some.
Come on, guys. Just like David Packman. Come on, guys. You're being unreasonable. Let Jack get away with being dishonest. Come on. I know that it's been advertised that the whole thing is on Tim Pool's show or calling out the lies of the media, but that's it. They're only calling out the lies of the media. Don't dare point out things that they do. No, that's because they're saving the world.
Some stuff. Let's read some super chats.
Okay, so now they get into the rest of them. So this was a bunch of bullshit, and it was embarrassing. But it isn't, to me, the most important thing. The most important thing is surrounding January 6th. This is more my wheelhouse. Now, I like laughing at retards just like everyone else does. So when I see the thing with Jack Murphy and I see this part where he's talking about changing the world, obviously we have to cover it. I read the article the other night on stream. It was very funny. Okay. This is much more my wheelhouse, though. This is about news coverage. Now, I am very firm in my position that Jack Murphy is a retard, and Tim Pool did a very bad job on his show last night. And I wonder, I think Tim Pool's rich enough to withstand anything pretty much, but I do wonder if we're going to see a similar, and by the way, Sargon is way better now, okay? I watch Lotus Eaters all the time. I think it's fine. But when there was that period of time when he was kind of like melting down a bit, I wonder, are we seeing the beginnings of like a Tim Pool kind of losing his bearings type thing? I don't know. We might be, but I think he's rich enough where it's really not going to matter. But let's talk about January 6th. Now, if there's anyone that's familiar with if you're a regular watcher of Tim Pool IRL, I see some of it, but I don't see everything.